Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Let's Talk About Market episode number 73. So, if we see the Nifty index today, it has been absolute lackluster trading session. However, there were a lot of movement that we saw probably in particular stocks, but broadly, if we see the entire market, it was more or less dull. And this has been the case for quite some time now, and we are neither getting breakout nor we are getting breakdown. And I remember that, few days back, I had mentioned that 26,000 will be an important support level. If that is broken, then that will not be a good sign. But actually, that's where it is that, when you try and understand the market as a whole, that's where, you try to understand what really is happening in the market and maybe not fixate it to one level. So while 26,000 breaking on the downside is not a good sign, definitely. But if we see the other things like it is trading above the 40-day exponential average, then more than Nifty index, actually it is the setup of the other indices which is very interesting. And I think Nifty, of course, I'll talk about it for a few minutes, but it is the other sectors where we need to watch out for what is happening. Okay, so let me quickly share my screen, and someone, if they can please confirm if you all are able to see my screen properly, and if you all are able to hear me properly as well. Okay. Uh, Please just put the confirmation in the chat box while I'm opening the chart of the Nifty index. Yeah, if someone can please confirm in the chat box if they are able to hear me properly and see my screen. I've opened the chart of Nifty index. Sorry, I have to ask confirmation because in the past I've done a lot of goof up with that. So please, if someone can quickly, uh, put it in the chat box. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. So if we see the Nifty index, see broadly what it is doing is that it is in this consolidation phase for a long time now. Uh, the worst part is that even the India VIX, that has fallen to very lower levels, and lower levels of VIX can be seen either as the market is calm or it is complacent. I mean, it is the way you look at it. Uh, the way I am looking at it is that it is in a trend right now. I mean, it is in a sideways trend right now. Okay, we need to see a confirmation of a breakout or a breakdown, and that to a decisive breakout or a breakdown. Okay, it is not just minor breakout or breakdowns, but a decisive breakout or a breakdown, and that's where we'll then see what happens. So just to let you know, I mean, we generally use 50 EMA, but if you put 50 EMA, I mean, this is where the market seems to be trending. Okay, on this time frame. So I was just trying to think, what else can happen. I mean, where is it that we can get some clue? And I just incidentally happened to draw this. So I'm just wondering. I mean, this is not the actual triangle that is forming, but this in Elliott wave we call it as a running pattern. Uh, I don't know if something of this sort is happening. Okay, I'm not sure that, to be very honest. Okay, but this is the initial thought that came to my mind. So one thing is for sure. I mean, there is definitely some weakness because if we see this retracement level, basically today it even broke below the 61.8% retracement for a while, but it again came back. But yes, I mean broadly, if it's an important support level where the Nifty index is at, then we are definitely somewhere around important support levels. Again, if you see the open interest, right? I mean, today was the monthly expiry, but if we see this broadly, I mean, this I'm taking the combination of all the things. Okay, so then what we are seeing is that 26,000 is now becoming an important resistance level. This is overall. Okay, and then I'm seeing 25,900 as an important support. Now, if we want to just remove today's expiry, okay, wait, I'll have to I'll have to untick the current one. So maybe that will give us a true picture of how people are positioned next. And of course, we'll have to see the derivative data then and see and understand how people are positioned. Okay. Sorry, just give me a minute. I'm wondering how can we improve this experience. Okay. Now I have selected all the expiries except the current one, and it tells me, this information tells me that 26,000 is where a huge open interest is. If we see, next month's expiry, it would definitely be around 26,000. So basically, 26,000 call and put has the highest open interest, and then we have 27,000 call and 27,000 put. Okay. And if we see the PCR, if we exclude today's expiry, then it's around 0.93% or so. Okay. So the basic point that I'm trying to make is that around 26,000 is where the important support level is for the Nifty index. Okay. So this is one part. Now let me just check and see what is the price of Nifty futures in the second month. Okay, expiry. I have to. If I want to see the futures rate, so the next expiry will be on 27 Jan. Okay. Uh, okay. Wait. Sorry. So if I have to go to the futures chart, Nifty, and I do this as 2 months. So it's 26,135. So there is still 135 points left on the Nifty index on the downside to even think of breaking the 26,000 mark. Okay. So broadly on in futures term, the option data is telling us that 26,000 is an important support level. And see repeatedly why I'm telling you that we are at an important point is because when you see this, I mean, you know it's a I mean the situation currently is like, do you see an half glass empty or half glass full? That is how it is. Okay. Because you see this, it is mid cap index. If you see, it has retraced 61.8% currently, but what we are seeing today is a bearish crossover and close below the averages. Okay. So what do we make of it? I don't know. Of course, breaking below the averages and sell crossover is not good. But if we don't get a follow through tomorrow, and in fact we start rising higher, then it will be a good sign. If you see the small cap index, they have been extremely resilient. In fact, if I see the retracement of small cap, it is not even 50%, while small and mid and large caps have retraced 61.8. And if we see the micro cap, it is towards the lower end of its support line, and it has made a doji over here. So I'm not sure how to read it. And in fact, the most strongest one so far is the bank nifty, and you can see that bank nifty has actually bounced back from the averages. So the point that I'm trying to make is that I was saying that 26,000 is an important support level for Nifty index. Below that, things can get bad. Uh, the Nifty index is below 28,000, 26,000 right now, but things are not bad at this point of time. Okay. Plus, if we see the daily swing, that is today, it saw a minor uptick. Okay, nothing major, meaningful, but saw some uptick. And the other part is that if we see the call minus put, that had gone to almost around four lakh 78,000 contracts. So I had mentioned yesterday, right? If it would have been, swing would have come to around 20, and if we end up getting this setup at 50,000, 5 lakh, then maybe in the near term we can form a bottom. So it was very close to that. So yes, broadly what I'm trying to say is that it is coming somewhere around the support level now. Now I'm not trying to give any exact support level because everything, it's changing dynamically. So I am watching out for other factors like, do we get a follow up selling in mid cap? Okay, after giving a sell crossover, and I think this is true for the Nifty index as well, where it has given a sell crossover. So do we get a follow up selling? What happens to micro cap? Does it hold this trend line or no? Okay. What happens to bank nifty after seeing an up move? Does it closes above the 20 MA or no? So these are all the things that I'm considering. And if you ask me, please give a certain view. I don't have a certain view, but just looking at all the data points, I am sensing that maybe somewhere over here, or maybe 50 70 points below the current levels, there is a chance of a short term bottom. Okay, now what I mean by short term bottom is just this part, that this decline is complete, then after that there is a pullback and then a decline. I am not sure of that we'll judge based on how the pullback is. But somewhere over here, okay, over here, or maybe 40 50 points lower, somewhere we should be able to get some minor bounce. And in that minor bounce, basically what we will see is that, are the averages breaking on the upside or no, which means are the hourly averages Nifty is able to break above that or no. I mean, those are all will be the important and deciding factor. Okay, so that's how I am thinking about it. And as I told you, many, in fact, now, small caps have actually become much more stronger, especially if I have to just judge this period, because there was an up move and it has retraced the less, as compared to the other indices. So that is one interesting thing that is happening over here. And apart from that, as I mentioned, I mean, today was the monthly expiry. So you might just want to keep tab on the list of stocks that would have given a monthly bullish crossover. Okay, so you can see something like this. I don't even know this company, AAA Tech. And again, I mean, as I told you, if you want to refine your basket, I usually try to keep it Nifty total market only, because there you have some reasonable stocks. So one that we are getting is that ATGL, but here, despite of that, it has gone down. Not good. But again, look for the setups where the averages are holding, and it is trying to turn around from there. Yeah, see something like this, right? What is that? Dynama Tech. I don't know what this company does, but this has an interesting chart, because if I just have to see the overall chart pattern, okay, what it is doing is that it is nicely trending higher on the averages, and it is now trying to break out above the previous high. So this is something very interesting. Uh, Even on the daily chart, if you see, it is trending on the 40-day average. So something to watch out for, in this Dynama Tech. Then it is GPPL. Okay, it has a decent pattern as well, where it has retraced and it is now trying to turn around. So these are the stocks. I mean, these are the kind of stocks you might want to keep it on your radar, right? You see this average is holding, and there is a crossover that seems to be happening. So these are the stocks you may want to keep a watch on. Maybe put them in your watch list. Hindustan Zinc is another one. Uh, of course, I mean, this is all silver led, but again, I mean, there has been a massive move on this one. IDBI. So yeah, basically there are a lot of stocks that are there to watch out for. Maybe you have a day today. This is also very good. Kirloskar Engine. Over here also you see that, wait, because of the bands it is getting compressed. But again, more or less, if you see, see the pattern is good, right? Up move, pull back towards the averages, and now turning around. So yeah, broadly, I hope you all understood, right? These are the kind of things that you want to watch out for, and you want to keep it on your radar. And maybe when the opportunity arises, you might want to take positions over here. So Nalco is also looking very nice. I mean, on this, maybe one might think that it has run up a lot. So that's where you'll have to go to the lower time frame and then think if it does make a buying sense or no. But in fact, now if you notice over here, a lot of metal names are coming, right? Nalco, this, and Vedanta. So yes, and briefly, if we talk about that also, if we see, oh shit, one minute, I have not paused the notification. Yeah. So even if you see the metal index, in fact, today when the entire market was in dumps, okay, it was not doing anything. Uh, Metal sector was the one that rallied 2%. Okay, so that's the beauty of this. And if you remember, we had discussed about this in RRG as well. If you see the weekly RRG, there a turnaround seems to be happening for the metal. You see this, right? I mean, these are the patterns that we watch out for. This is something that I have discussed yesterday as well. And because over there, in fact, even in last week, I think we would have discussed, because the turnaround was happening at that time, at that point only. So you can see now there is a nice follow-up gains also that we are starting to see. So RRG also can help you to filter out the stocks. I mean, if not stocks, then at least the sector where you might want to concentrate on. And then you have this RMI signals and so on. Also, what I would recommend you is that try to also find the stocks, since we have got the monthly close today, right? So you can just try to find the stocks that are breaking above the 20 month. Okay. So if I go over here in RSI, crossing above, sorry, not RSI, it's the simple moving average, crossing above 20 month. Okay. And this I'll make it monthly. So try to find those stocks, because the ones that ends up breaking above the 20 month, after this correction, uh, these might be an interesting stocks to watch out for. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah. Like you see this, there is a consolidation that is happening, and now again so you might end up finding some interesting stocks over here. So do watch out for that. Also, you can also do, or else which are the ones that are crossing above 40 EMA, because there is a chance that they might have broken 40 EMA and now they are crossing above that on the monthly chart. Sorry, crossing above. I'm not sure why this has come. See, you can see idea, KEC. Okay. It is again trying to make a comeback. Petronet trying to make a comeback. In fact, there was some good report on Petronet today. This one. So, you can try and do those various scans. In fact, which are the ones on monthly super trend, they are trying to turn around. I mean, there are so many patterns that you can watch. There are so many indicators that are there. You can see. I'm sure you will end up finding some or the other interesting ideas through this. So go through those scanners. And main important thing, I think, which you all need to watch out for, is that how the FIs are positioned post the expiry. Okay. Because so far, if you see, I mean, in the past 2 to 3 days in this fall, they have again become net short of 1,55,000 contract, and the percentage of long has gone to 13% or so. Okay. But yes, I mean, you need to see this ratio. How does it unfold? Okay. That will kind of help us to understand how are they positioned, and then actually what are the things then to consider because say for example, okay, my view might dramatically change if they end up covering all the shots and they are actually net long. Of course, this is unlikely, but I am just saying that it is the data that will dictate the view, and it is not the other way around. That view कुछ ले लिया फिर data देखते रहो to justify that. That would not be the case. So watch out for the data very carefully. I mean, I would hope that they are somewhere short over here and they are to this line so that we start getting this rally, because as I told you, I mean, from a medium term perspective, I think I am very clear on that thought that we are going to go higher. Okay, the only problem is that do we go higher from here, we all the way correct till here and then go, or what does it happen? I mean, or do we fall till here and then go up? I mean, these are things that I am just struggling to get a perfect answer to this, and that is why I hope that they just short it to the extreme, so that I mean, at least the downside risk might limit. I mean, that is how I would think about it. So let's see what happens. I mean, meanwhile, if you'll have any questions, and by the way, before that, just want to let you know that this Saturday, uh, it would be, I think, yeah, this Saturday only. This Saturday, we will be doing a webinar on rollover, since tomorrow will be the expiry. So we'll analyze, how to, find the outlier stocks through rollover screen, and we'll discuss about it. Okay, so do join us for that. It should be mostly on 10th. All the this thing details, you go to our Twitter handle and follow us. It will be posted over there. Okay. So yeah, meanwhile, if you'll have any questions, please do let me know. We'll try to address it. Any questions, please let me know. Seems like people are also in the holiday mode right now. I mean, usually there used to be a lot of questions, but these days there aren't many. Any questions, you all let me know. Else we'll wind up the session for today. Okay, I'll wait for a few more seconds if there are any questions. If not, then we'll probably end the session today. And Sethi ji, I'm trying to understand RMI better, so I asked about Bharti. See, NCT ji, I'm again telling you, it depends on what time frame or what position do you want to create. Do you want to create a position for next 5 days? Look at early RMI. If you want to take position for next 1 or 2 weeks, look at daily RMI. If you want to take position for few months, look at weekly RMI. Don't look signals on higher time frames if you want to execute for 5 days. I don't know. I mean, how simple can I explain than this? But the broader point is, so you should be looking at live last closes for the ones who would have missed the signal and they want to see. That is why it is last candle close. It is always live. I keep it. If you are an investor, then I believe you might want to see what is happening on the weekly and monthly time frame, and then do take your decisions accordingly. I hope this makes it clear, NCTV. Fertilizer sector. Uh, so Kesari, Fertilizer sector question mark. Even I have a question mark. I don't know. I'm not tracking them, frankly. So NCT says today Jubilant Food is new buy on daily but weekly is in sell. So now NCTG, you tell me what do you want to do with Jubilant? Matlab, you want to buy, you want to sell. If you want to create a position, then for what time frame do you want to create a position? So I will tell my answer accordingly. I'm waiting for a comment. Meanwhile, let me just look at the chart of Jubilant. So now NCTG, if you want to buy, for what time horizon do you want to buy? So while I understand that you are trying to understand RMI, but for to understand RMI, I also need to know your requirement, right? So that I can explain you accordingly. Okay, so you are invested. So now I am assuming that if you are investing, you will have 1 year plus time frame, right? So if you have firstly 1 year time frame, then what will be the two things that you will watch out for? You will watch for what is happening on monthly and weekly charts, correct? Daily RMI will not dictate your buying position, correct? Because if it's daily RMI, it is possible it can go up 4-5%, then again fall down. Would you be interested in that? I am assuming that the answer would be no, right? So if you're an investor, you will be watching at weekly and monthly chart and not just RMI, by the way. Okay. So let me clear this. If you are on a monthly chart, what is happening in monthly chart? It is possibly breaking, I mean, it has broken the 40-month average this week. Okay. So this is not a good sign. Do you see a pickup in RMI yet? The answer is no. Correct. Then you will look at the weekly chart. What is happening in the weekly chart? The prices are below the averages and the RMI is in sell. So in any of the time frame, do you get any confirmation of what is happening, or is there a turnaround that is happening? No. So see, NCTG, I don't know. You are just trying to contradict, because initially you mentioned as long term investment. Now you're saying I may buy it for a couple of months. If you're buying for a couple of months, you might give a lot of importance to weekly chart, what the trend is on the weekly chart, and then you might want to execute on the daily chart. Okay. Since you're a long term investor, I showed you that on monthly chart there are no signs of reversal and it has broken about below 40 month. And on the weekly chart, it has broken below the I mean, it is below the averages and the RMI is in sell. So now you tell me, will you be buying or no? If there are no signs of reversal. Right. So I think I hope you got the answer, right? What needs to be done. So please understand this way, that if you want to buy, you will see what is the monthly trend of that chart of that stock. Okay. If on monthly, every if it is trading below above the averages, okay, and it has come to some important support level, then you might go on the weekly chart and try to find your bullish signal. Okay. I hope now you understood. So based on your time frame, this is how you have to see RMI. Okay. Now you briefly mentioned that I may buy it for a couple of months. If you want to buy it in couple of months, then look at what the trend is on the weekly chart. If you feel that now the turnaround is happening, then try and go on the daily chart to find where is it that you can buy. Yeah, NCTG, I understand that you are trying to understand RMI. So I am just again telling you this is how to analyze. I hope you understood that. See, someone says that seasonality suggests Bank Nifty in red in Jan. Flip side is expected also in. So seasonality cannot be the thing that can guide you, especially if it is. I mean, if it is Bank Nifty, if there is say something called as I don't know, maybe agri stocks or something, they tend to do well during that time. So that is fine because in 2022 you see there is a positive. In fact, before 2020, if you see, actually what I can see over here is that Bank Nifty tends to see very wild moves in January month. I mean, while the average return might end up looking 0.7%, but there is 7. I don't know. Looks interesting. Need to see how it unfolds. So if I take this as negative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think we have the data for last 19 months. So out of 19 months, 12 months have been negative only. Uh, Good observation. I need to see what is the seasonality in Nifty index then. Then again in Nifty index is not so good. I don't know. Let's see what happens. This is interesting actually. I don't know why I did not see this. Actually, I don't see seasonality much, but I think I should start seeing it. Looks interesting. So let's see what happens. I mean, even I am not sure. But to be very honest, I mean, if you see Bank Nifty with this sort of setup, and if the averages don't break, my, I mean, forget what is happening around the world. I would just say that as long as this does not break, I would expect an up move over here. So let's see how things unfold. Okay, NCP, thanks. But yeah, thanks for pointing out seasonality. That seems interesting. So, any other questions? I think we are now 30 minutes into this. Yeah, yeah. I've tried to address all the questions. Do you all have any further questions? If not, then we can wind up the session for today and probably meet tomorrow at 5. Okay, so I don't see any further questions. So let's end the session for today and let's catch up tomorrow at 5 p.m.